So open up the drawer, close it, or look under the bed. What's sleeping in there? Is there any like a dusty box with full of old stuffs in it? Did you have any chance to touch it again since you said goodbye to those? Well, sometimes maybe they'll give you a new feeling. So today what I'm gonna talk about is things shows their true color after long sleep. So, what do you guys think about this? Huh? You don't know what's gonna do. I have to do this to focus on my face. You guys already know I'm using Sony A7III, but that camera is the beast of autofocus, right? So this can't happen in A7III. Well, actually, I'm not filming with it. I have A7III right here. So the one feature I'm using right now is, I'll show you guys. It is the Canon EOS Rebel T3i. Well, it's KISS X5 in Japan, but it's same as Rebel T3i. What? Isn't that great? Well, it's not sharp as A7III and dynamic range is horrible and it's not log, but the image has some kind of cinematic feels, like a vintage feel. Suddenly, I start feeling this old and cheap camera is attractive. So when I made this video, which I uploaded last time, I came up with this image of thumbnail, so I just thought, I needed another camera. And then I remembered that I had this old camera, which is Canon Rebel T3i. So I just looked at under the bed and I found this dusty box and the camera was in it. So after shooting thumbnail, I was just playing with this camera for a while, shooting videos and photos. And then I just realized that, okay, those images are cool. I don't know why, but I just like them. Of course, it's not good as A7III. It's not sharp or dynamic range is horrible. I mean, it's incomparable. But I felt this old camera had some cinematic, vintage feels. A7III can't do this. It had different feelings from, mirrorless camera. So anyway, using this cheap and old DSLR was fun. I was able to experience this new and fresh feel, which I can't feel in these days surrounded by good gears. But I wondered, why? Why now? Why do I feel this old and cheap camera is attractive now? I bought this camera about like 8 years ago almost because it was so cheap. It was around like a $300, $400 used. Not because I liked it and want it. It's more like I had to. That was my only way. So honestly, I had no idea if that camera was good or bad. Also, I didn't know well about other cameras like a specs, sharpness, image quality, something like those. And what is dynamic range, what is raw, I didn't even know words. So if I didn't know anything about the camera, how could I know what's good and bad? How could I identify their personality and uniqueness and appeal? So looking back, it was very natural that I didn't feel a thing for that camera. But now, I know what's good and bad. I have this Sony A7III and I tried a lot of lenses and cameras from budget to expensive. And then I realized that both of cheap and expensive gears have good uniqueness. Even this old DSLR. Back then, the quality of this camera was normal. Well, it's not normal, but actually it's not that bad, compared with now. Like the technology level was 5, but now it's like 9 or 10. It developed so much in these decades. So these days, the quality of Sony A7III or Canon EOS R5 or some other Panasonic mirrorless camera which I'm not familiar with is getting become normal, average, crazy world, huh? But this old camera is not normal. When it comes to technical speaking, this camera is inferior to good gears nowadays. But when it comes to creative speaking, the image produced by this camera has a good uniqueness which the latest technology doesn't have. Like those old and dusty film look, I am kind of attracted by them because I can't produce them with Sony A7III. See, when we are surrounded by new things, sometimes we start to feel those old stuffs are attractive. Well, it's what we call vintage. The generation gives uniqueness and appeal to old stuffs which were not seen as attractive before. The thing shows its true color in the future after a long sleep. So there is a scene in The Catcher in the Rye, the book by J.D. Salinger. Like a history museum is always the same. Like every time we go, that Eskimo is sitting over the hole in the icy lake and fishing through it. And again, every time we go, birds are flying south for the winter. Like those, the time stopped. Nothing moves, nothing changes. But every time you go, you feel differently because you change while the museum doesn't. So I felt differently about this camera because this changed? No. So what changed? Me. I changed. The world changed. The generation changed. But the thing didn't change. While the time goes, the world is changing, I am changing, the thing is in a long sleep. After years, when you open that dusty box, you can't find what you're supposed to. What you find is... depends on you. Okay, this is it. If you have any questions, thoughts, comments, don't hesitate to leave a comment below. And I have a question for you. What is sleeping under your bed? Comment below. So today's topic is pretty much it, and thank you for watching this video. If you like this one, show me a thumb and hit the subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Mainly I was taking photos, that was very good. And video, like it's totally different from A7 III, but in a not bad way, in a good way. Like of course it's not sharp, like I said, dynamic range is horrible. The image quality is not good, but more than that, like the color, I mean, how can I explain this? Like a feel, vibes was good. You know, I like that. Sometimes it's good to use, you know, old gears.